If you like talking,
Women.
Ladies,
men,
topic,
Conversations.
and occasional uninformed politics,
multiple talking women is for you.
hit it!
Hello, I am your host, Lana Brown. I am a woman of the world, multi-ethnic, multi-orgasmic, and I'm ready to talk about things that the people care about. You know, my platform is oils, lotions, creams, ointments, and salves. It's important to be hydrated in all ways.
I don't know that that's a platform.
Well, it's definitely a platform for me.
It's a slippery platform.
That's right, it is.
Hello, I'm Felicity Bramble Bush, and I am a woman of God. I'm a proud wife and mother of 12 beautiful, catalog-worthy, really, children. They could be catalog models. Lana, you said so. Don't act like you haven't.
Yeah, like an old Sears catalog
I think it could be something like a J. Crew even.
from the 50s.
I would say J. Crew.
Mannequin-like.
And I live in the beautiful, beautiful city of Pasadena with my beautiful family.
Being a little tight-lipped about your husband, but I guess that's fine. Your husband's a senator.
He is a senator, and we moved to the Pasadena area so he could attend a rehab facility. Are you happy? Is that what you wanted me to share?
That's what I wanted to share.
Okay, thank
And
you.
I live with my partner and our 16-year-old son in the Hollywood Hills, where music flows and the dust does blows. And I have lots of dogs that I have rescued.
Little tiny dogs. When people hear rehab, they think alcohol, drugs, but that is not the case for your husband.
Well, some people have different proclivities. My husband has an addiction. I said it, an addiction. Not to a substance, but to a demographic of humans who use walkers and canes.
He enjoys older. He was caught snapping pics of people in retirement homes.
His work computers were confiscated for a lot of dirty, dirty photos of the elderly. And he is a gerontophile. Okay? I said it.
All right, so you two. Is anyone gonna introduce me, or I'm doing it myself?
Lana and I put together this podcast, but we really need someone to do the nitty-gritty of it.
Well, I'm not good at numbers, papers, computers, organizing, paper clips, office supplies, Office Depot.
It's not what Lana and I are meant for. We needed someone to do that kind of thing, so I was picking up my children at school one day, and there was a woman working the grounds, a groundskeeper.
I was the groundskeeper.
And she looked tough, hardy,
Hardy.
organized. She ran very fast across the field.
I'm a very fast runner.
I saw her run very, very fast, and I thought, she looks like someone who might have the time and the fortitude
To just get things done
to
and
get things done.
get things done and make them happen.
My name is Paula Gherkin, and I am a woman of a lot of jobs.
Podcasts was not one of your jobs prior to this, so that was a learning curve there. But what were your jobs, Paula?
Well, if you look up Craigslist and you're looking for anything built or constructed, I can do that. I'm in there. I got my number on Craigslist. I got it on Facebook Marketplace. I can kind of do anything. I jump around. I've also been a executive assistant, groundskeeping, cobbler, treehouse builder, dog walker, cabinet builder, babysitter, cow milker, makeup artist, special effects makeup artist, mall walker, bra designer.
But you're not currently hooked up. Because we shared there are romantic proclivities, but you haven't shared yours.
Well, people fall in love with me fast and hard. And so I got a rule, no sleepovers.
I've seen the janitor leave your work shed.
The janitor, the principal, the science teacher, the man who delivers the school lunches.
Lunch lady.
The woman who serves the lunches. So sometimes I don't get involved with anybody because I just know what's going to happen, and I'm just one of those kinds of people. But enough about me. This all started because you both separately pursued journalism. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so I was raised pretty much in almost every country of the world, traveling around a lot. My dad sold computers and handheld devices back then, which were calculators. Some places it was abacuses. And I grew up and I decided I want to go to college, and I was accepted at an incredible university right on the Panama Canal, called the Women's Panama Canal University of Women's Journalism.
They used the word women's twice.
Well, that's because they want to really get it through.
Yeah, they doubled
So
down.
anybody identifying as a woman, which is myself, we go and we learn how to be journalists, hard-hitting questions, writing, intelligence,
Okay.
period.
Great. So that's your background. What about you, Felicity?
I grew up in a large Christian family. The men worked, the women cleaned and cooked. Now, I was a fan of Barbara Walters, a working woman. A working mother. And there was a small-town Christian newspaper in my town called News from Heaven, and I asked if I could write an article for them about a woman who worked at the church who had no arms.
Wow.
She played the organ with her toes. And I did such an incredible job there. I was promoted, and I became a bit of a name in my neighborhood. And I got the bug a little bit.
So no actual schooling.
Very little schooling. It wasn't for me. At some point, I auditioned for a reality TV program called The Amazing Survivor, and I was cast, and I really rose to fame on that show, balancing on a perch for 5 hours. And God spoke to me, and he said, follow your dreams, Felicity. Do these 5 things. And one of them was be a reporter on conservative news. And something I'm very proud of is that my coverage of the Duggar wedding beat the coverage of the Malaysian Airlines crash that killed 300 people.
Okay. So you both have that journalism background. Now, where your paths collide is at some point you both decide to audition for a musical
Called Cats.
in Simi Valley, correct?
Yes, Simi Valley Community Theater,
Okay.
SVCC.
Great. And you both auditioned for that. Tell me about that. First of all, why, if you're both in journalism, do you decide, now I
Okay.
want to be in Cats?
So my journalism job started going from like a steady flow to a trickle, and they weren't coming in as much. And I also was starting to embark on perimenopause. And I felt like my body needed to move. I needed to express myself. I needed to get into that storyteller. And acting is storytelling. You're just telling a story as a different person from yourself and a different story.
Okay.
So I auditioned for numerous productions in the Hollywood area, and that didn't work out for me. And my partner and I have an open sexual relationship. And two of the guys I was actually seeing, ironically, live in Simi Valley with their families.
Are you saying they were adult men living at home with their families still?
One of the men I was seeing lived with his mother, grandmother, and uncle, and the other man was married but had an open relationship and lived with his family. And I was leaving one night. I saw a group of people, a gaggle of people, converging around this little theater, and I thought, what is this? And it was auditions for Cats. Love the movie, love the productions, and love the animal, love the leotards, the music, the songs. And I went in and I auditioned. And I wanted to be Gus, the theater cat. But I was cast instead as Chorus Jellicle Cat.
And you were also there that day.
And I found my best friend.
I was tapped to host a roundtable news show on Fox News for conservative women, but when my husband's computers were confiscated, that was rescinded, and we relocated to the Pasadena area, and I really closed in on myself, and there were days that I didn't want to come out of my closet, didn't want to come out of my pool, and I needed help, and I prayed to God, and God said, you need to make friends, which I don't think, I have a family, and my family is my friends, and my cookies are my friends. So I got a wild hair, as one does in desperate times, and I saw that there was an audition for Cats the Musical, and I had never seen, but I was familiar with Orphan Annie, so I did a little number for my audition from Little Orphan Annie, and lo and behold, I was cast.
Which number did you do?
I know. I heard her from outside the door because she went in before me. She did,
did the
Dumb dog, why are you following me?
That's right. Sandy was the dog's name.
Sure.
It's an emotional memory for me.
Yeah.
And
also, you also were only cast as Chorus Jellicle Cat. Is
that's
that
right. Which was a little knock to the ego.
A little bit.
But
we
fair
got
for
to
not
wear
knowing the show.
leotards and
We
said,
did.
Jellicle cats come out tonight.
We did. And Lana, she's not someone I would normally become friends with, but she lights up a room and
And Felicity is someone who everything she stands for is troubling to me, but I like her as a person.
we're able to put some of those things aside because there is something that we connect over, and that is not only journalism, but explain why we do our podcast.
Okay, so I was hiking.
That's right.
Okay, and hiking in the hills with my dogs, and there's this person there, and I'm like, that's Miley Cyrus, but it can't be. But then I'm like, but it can be because she lives in here, and then it was, and she was incredibly friendly. She had a dog named Bean, and I had a dog named Dean. True story. She wanted to talk. Her skin was emollient. She was human. She was encouraging. She was open. And I thought to myself, I want to talk to people who have achieved a certain level of celebrity success and are good, interesting people, because celebrities, the kind that I want to talk to, are really interesting, good people. They also have access to things like incredible skincares. My platform is skincare and making sure that you are moisturized. It's a big epidemic in this country. People are very dry and thirsty.
Sure.
So Marley was luminous, and I want to be around other luminous people. Celebrities have access to concierge health care, which I think is something really important and great to just be around.
So you called Felicity.
I called Felicity and I said, I want to talk to celebrities and I want us to be together and I want to learn things and ask questions. And this is what this is.
And I didn't even really have to think about it because, listen,
Well, you didn't have anything going on.
I guess that would be fair. I had a very light schedule. And, I feel like I am perfect in the eyes of God, but I'm always aspiring to be more great. And who is more great than a celebrity? And so I just feel like they have a wealth of knowledge and experience. And just being near them makes me feel better about myself.
They do things, but then what's interesting about them is they have stories about before they were doing those things and how they got to do that, how they overcame questions about themselves. There's some self-esteem philosophies and things of this nature.
Do you hope that some of that'll rub off on the two of you and maybe better things will happen for you, better than being Jellicle Cats in Simi Valley?
It's already better
It's already better.
just doing this.
This is how I got involved because I do not have any experience producing a podcast. Felicity was picking up her child. The reason I was running so fast that day is because one of her children is very a slow walker. I think he's kind of lost in the clouds, as you might say, and meandering slowly across the parking lot.
He was born with a backwards foot.
He's got and so very slow, and I was, working the grounds like I do, trimming some hedges, and I saw that a car was coming straight for him. So I took off like a bolt and rescued him. And that's how we started talking. And you said, what do you have going on? And she said, we'll start a podcast. And I said, well, I know a lot of celebrities, and I know a lot of them owe me favors. Because of all my odd jobs I've done over the years. A lot of them have been for celebrities because I have a very high price tag, and they are some of the only people that can afford me to come to their home and do odd jobs. Anyway, she said, you're hired on the spot. And I said, fine. And I went in and I told the principal, I'm out. I got a job as a producer. So that's how we are where we are today. I think what's great about this podcast is that you two will talk about anything. And maybe all podcasts don't do that. Or maybe all people don't do
Well,
that.
I'll say right off the bat, the name of the show is Multiple Talking Women, and that's something that you don't hear every day. Rarely do women talk.
And also, are different women friends very often? No. And when people come in to talk to us, as we've seen, they really open up in a way that I have not heard. You know, I recently had a hysterectomy, and they took out my uterus. And
Sure.
now, just at the top of the vaginal canal, I'm sewed. I don't have uterus or cervix anymore. I am sewed. It's like a sock or a sack. A sock and a sack. If I was upside down, you could put candy in me for trick-or-treating.
That's right. And I think I don't hear that a lot on TV and film or on podcasts. I don't hear people talking about their uterus or it being sewn up like a sock.
Yeah, and also like there's information and inspiration and things you haven't heard other places. I dare you.
Yeah, dare you to find it. You won't.
And I think I bring a perspective of, listen, I love myself. I think I'm wonderful, but there's always more things to learn. And as a mother of 12 children, I tell them all the time, you're perfect, but I don't believe it.
That's really what this is about. It's coming out of the dark. I finally found a way.
Okay. Well, I think we've explained everything. So if you've heard us and, you say, even after all this, I'm not interested, fine. But if you heard some of this and you said to yourself, hey, this sounds interesting, I'm going to listen to a couple of these, and that's also fine.
Yeah, maybe go look at the list of interesting people and celebrities who are moisturized and coming on our podcast and then decide.
Have you ever heard of Wendy McLennan Covey? She's going to be on.
Michaela Watkins.
Mayim Bialik,
Yeah. Echo Kellum.
Nico Santos, and Patricia Guggenheim from the Marvel Universe.
Marvel Universe.
That's right. Kyla Pratt from Call Me Kat.
Look, we're going to have presidential candidates. We're going to have A-list stars.
Oscar winners.
Yeah. So it's for real. It's the
for
real
real.
deal.
It's the real deal.
Yeah. So listen or don't, and have a good day.
Multiple Talking Women is hosted by Lauren Burns, Ariane Price, and Lisa Shurga, and produced by Carafano and Amelia Misco at Stampede Ventures for the Stampede Podcast Network. Okay, I'm done now.